Welcome back to the BamCast. The BamCast, as always, is the home of the anti-PC. Shout out to Boom Physics for the intro song you guys are hearing now. Follow the pages at the BamCast on Instagram and Twitter. We're not on Facebook anymore. Fuck Facebook. Deleted that. Done. Here with me tonight is Bobby B. What up? And Nikolai. First time on the podcast.
Yo, thanks for having me, Martin.
Always happy, brother. And it's really complicated explaining what Nikolai is, so we're just going to call him my cousin. Cool? Nikolai's my cousin. For those of y'all who are listening, we're here. For those of y'all who are watching,
we're here.
We're also here. Follow the page on YouTube at the BamCast. Yo, yo, yo. Alright. I'm pretty sure I'm done with all the intro stuff.
Martin downloaded and figured out how to use the software for the video in like 10 minutes.
Hi.
Like just before we started recording, so.
I try. I don't know. It might be shit.
He did this for y'all niggas.
I don't know, but we're
y'all
learning.
Niggas better appreciate that shit.
Nigga, we're learning. We're growing. Yeah. So yo, what's been pissing you off this week, Bob?
I don't know, dog.
Whoa, you've had a good week.
No, it's not that.
It's just so much things.
It's so many things. Like, I'm almost getting numb to the news cycle now, man.
That actually sounds like me.
It's
Martin will attest to that.
I can attest to that for sure, Aziz.
There's just, I mean, all right, like, Fuller was talking to the back of the mic. All right, natural disasters for one. A lot of those been happening. Earthquakes and tsunamis. There's actually an earthquake in Haiti maybe yesterday or day before, right off the coast of Haiti.
Apparently it was just an earthquake.
The one in just now, yeah. The one in Indonesia, in Palu and Sulawesi. The official death toll is currently at 1,800 plus. It's been going up in the tens every day. So, and you see that thing with Palu, mate. Like I'm a geology or geography like nerd sometimes. You actually are a geography nerd and geology nerd because you went to school for that shit.
I did for a while.
So, but like Palu, this thing is it's right at the tip of a very long narrow bay. So the man them said that though, like the earthquake that happened, you know the term. The plates didn't lift up; they slipped side by side.
Transform faults.
Right. So the plates underwater slip side by side, cause the earthquake. So normally, in a tsunami event, what happens is you get what's the one where the plate move up?
A fault.
When that earthquake happens, when it pushes up,
something lifts, and then everything, all that water on top
pushes
of it
the column
lifts
up,
also.
The whole water column above that piece of earth, like
that's
earth.
what happens to water.
Yeah, that's how tsunamis occur. Like generally, a tremor of some kind, resulting in a fault of some sort. It's just imagine you're at the bottom of the ocean. You have thousands of pounds of water on top of you, and you stand up. It will flood off your back, and that's what a tsunami is.
Mm-hmm. So they didn't expect what happened in Indonesia to happen because the one that happened doesn't lift a column of water.
It was just a slip.
But they say what happens, it looks like it triggered an underwater landslide.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm. So in the underwater landslide, obviously the same thing happened as a slip. So it just pushes all that water that was on top of it as it moves forward. So it triggers that wave, and then because of the shape of the bay, the wave literally just reverberated off of each side and just multiplied as it went in, and then literally Palu's at the tip. So it just focused all the energy in
I saw
it.
a couple of the videos on Facebook.
Yeah, and the people, what happens is
utterly terrifying.
Yeah, dog. The tsunami warning, the sirens, apparently some of them weren't working and some shit like that. And because people are saying that they ended the warning too early, but the company that issued the warning says no, the warning ended after the third wave hit, third and final wave.
The video I saw like multiple waves.
Yeah,
and then like it's almost small, medium, and large.
And Palu, at the tip of the bay, is where we're hearing most of the things. There's another city right at the mouth of the bay that they've barely been able to get into because like it's just been washed out.
Gesture with the other hand, not the hand that holding the mic.
True. Tsunamis terrify me, dog. From the one in 04, the one that
Tsunamis
in
terrify you 'cause you
Indonesia
can't
again.
swim.
Yeah, what deep water terrify. Like I'm playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag now. I just get it. And at certain points, I jump off of the ship and I'm just swimming in open ocean, and I go, no, dog, never in life, you know.
You feel fear on behalf of your character?
Not fear, but maybe like anxiety.
You feel anxiety just being that someone's in that situation?
Yeah.
Damn.
Don't fuck with deep water at all, man.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, there's a mini game where like you hunt whales and sharks and big sea creatures like that with a harpoon in a little boat. And remember, this is how man literally used to do it back in the day. You know?
Yeah,
3 to 5 man in a small boat with some harpoons and a rope, and you go stab the whale, and then it drags you, and you just keep throwing harpoons at it until it tires and bleeds out.
Learn to swim or die was real.
Funnily enough, I don't have the anxiety there, but you see, when I just swimming in the open water,
That's where you get it?
yeah,
You think it's because you focused on another activity versus you just focused on being where you
possibly. Because a lot of it in the swimming in the open water is just me hearing him swim and watching him swim. Just waiting,
yeah. Triggered.
Terrifying,
It's
man.
definitely something I've thought about at the beach. Just random thought. Just
What,
what
deep
happens
water?
if right here, right now, tsunami?
As soon as, well, you see, like Kingston, we can see very good from up here. Kingston is in a bowl. So if a tsunami were to hit Kingston, we'd get fucked twice if it came far enough inland, because it would hit the mountains and then wash right back down with more force. But we have the Kingston Harbor to protect us.
I can't grasp 3D very well. So there's a disconnect between hearing something like 50 feet of water and then imagining 50 feet of water coming towards you.
How tall are you?
5'11".
So 6 feet. So imagine 10 of yous. 10 of
Yeah,
you
it's scary. And I live on an
Of water.
on
apartment.
top of each
Of
other.
water,
Yeah.
indiscriminate,
Yeah.
non-caring
Water.
water.
Just
Water flows.
an unstoppable force.
Water flows. Water crashes.
Yeah.
Water finding a way around, over, and through you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I still can't, like, I can picture it, but like I can't believe it.
You know,
Because I live in an apartment complex and I'm on the 5th floor.
So that
That's
puts
like-
you
that's
about
like 50 feet.
Yeah.
So it's just hard to just think
Imagine a
Of a
wave
column
that
of
high.
wave.
wave
water.
50 feet. Yeah, it just doesn't compute.
And you know, the
And
thing about tsunamis.
you know, people don't really think about tsunamis. I'm sorry to cut you. People just think of tsunamis as like a wave at the beach. This motherfucker coming with speed.
and coming like miles
it
inland.
coming with speed behind it, and that wall that you're looking at. That's not the scary part, right? Because that wall breaks. When that wall breaks, it's all the shit behind it going.
crashes.
Yeah.
Let me go. That's crashing. That do the damage because alright, the wall hits, right? So for those who can see, the wall hits like this. Then the wall breaks, and the things behind it go like this,
Over.
like an eraser. That's the big rowboat
Plus,
page. You know what I mean?
debris and shit.
Mhm.
No, you have cars going
Yeah.
at miles per hour down
In
the street
water, just
floating.
floating, beating your shit up.
I saw a ferry literally deposited on land. I saw a picture of that.
Dog, the one in Japan, the one that caused the
Fukushima?
Fukushima disaster. There was a huge ship just sitting like miles inland beside a house,
just chilling.
just chilling.
You know what?
Water, you can't stop water.
Alright, we're also, guys, you know how the BamCast usually works by now. We found the formula. We're going to talk about Nikolai and his stuff very soon. But being that we're on the topic of water, you know, you said I'm a geology guy. I'd have to go in the field and you do mappings. And even in high school, you learn about how rivers are created. But reading about it's one thing. Seeing a boulder the size of a small house miles from the tip of the mountain and is water go there, looking at channels of rivers that do this and have carved through, looking at something
The
like
Grand
the
Canyon.
Grand, I was about to say the Grand Canyon, is water do that. Water not aggressive, water not angry, water patient, patience, and it continual. That's why we're gonna save the rest of this water talk for Tangential Lane.
Can we tangentially jump into the Aquaman trailer that dropped this week as well?
Can we do that in Tangential Lane?
I don't know.
Come on, talk about Nikolai.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about you for a bit, and then we're gonna go into Tangential Lane, where we're definitely picking up right back with this water talk and the Aquaman stuff. Because I want to hear your opinion on it. Because you're usually fun to talk to about movie stuff. But anyway, Nikolai,
Yeah, man.
tell the people about yourself. You are a med student.
Yeah, I'm a fourth year medical student at UWI Mono. I did my undergrad there, did my master's there, and now I'm just about finishing up.
What did you do your undergrad and your master's in?
So I did my undergrad in a program called Basic Medical Sciences, essentially pre-med, and I did my master's in forensic science.
Ooh, like crime scene science?
CSI.
Yeah,
Are you Barry Allen?
no, unfortunately.
I was about to ask, unfortunately. Okay. Alright, so you did that, and then when you finished that as a as a forensic analyst, you could have gone and worked as a forensic analyst.
So the forensic science degree has 4 majors: pathology, molecular biology, chemistry, toxicology. I did the pathology one. It's still a fairly new program at UE. It's probably about maybe 7-8 years old, I think. And I did it as I had to qualify into medicine, and it was one of the programs that was available for me to qualify into medicine.
And you just kind of liked it.
So there are 4 master's options, and that one seemed to have the most clinical application because I was doing pathology.
So you plan to work with bodies?
So interestingly enough, I actually want to be emergency medicine, but the things I did in forensic pathology there are things that actually have cross-disciplinary applications to emergency medicine, like trauma, motor vehicle accidents, gunshot wounds, stabbings, even sexual violence.
Everything that can kill you gruesomely in a movie.
Yeah.
Basically is what he's saying.
There are things I learned in that program that I'll definitely be able, that I have actually transferred into that aspect that I've learned in medicine already, and I'll be able to transfer into emergency medicine as a specialty.
So why?
Yeah, why did you pick emergency medicine?
You like the
you have a high you have a high gore threshold. You have a tolerance level that most don't.
Emergency medicine, simply, I think it fits my personality. I get very bored
please
easily.
Explain that. Oh, you get very bored.
I get very bored easily.
So you like the excitement of the ER.
It changes in the ER. It changes constantly. And I do like adrenaline rushes. And so what little emergency medicine experience I have so far, it's constantly been in the emergency room and just seeing trauma come in, and you just feel that surge of adrenaline. Like you're seeing something that it could be gory. But most of the times, I don't think I've ever thought, hey, this is gory. I just think, if I see it, I think it's acute, the person needs help now. And that just kind of sets off an adrenaline rush. And I don't know if that says something positive about me.
Brother, it does.
You don't see the wound as a person anymore.
You don't see the wound.
Problem.
Yeah, a problem. You don't see the wound.
No, that's emergency medicine.
You don't see the wound as something nasty. You see the wound as something to stop, to save this person.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, and I mean, I'm very young in the game, for lack of a better word, or phraseology. But
is that really how we're holding your mic? Sorry to cut you.
It worked though.
Okay, cool. Continue.
You know, hear me?
Sorry, brother.
So I have a little bit of experience. I mean, a little bit. I spent my pre-med days shadowing in the emergency room, and just being in the field of medicine as a student. I've been in the emergency room from time to time, mostly doing related duties towards whatever rotation I'm on. In the evening, sometimes we have to be there, and when you see the trauma, sometimes, and I don't know if this is the best thing or it's what should happen, and maybe you grow past it with more experience. You see the patient and you see the patient as a person, which you should definitely, that should definitely happen. But sometimes you just see the problem as well, and what you can do to fix the problem, and the challenge. It's almost like Sherlock Holmes, Benedict Cumberbatch, little text thought bubbles
popping up all over the place.
It's kind of like that, and it's kind of crazy like that. They pop up, and
I know you said minimal experience. I know you said minimal experience, but have you ever been in a situation where, in order to solve the problem, there was something impeding you, not medically, but just on a person-to-person basis?
No, it's
Most times,
for me it feels fast.
Most times when people hit the ER, they fix me.
Yeah, and to contextualize it, emergency medicine is not just trauma. I mean, I'm basically speaking about trauma, which is the acute things that come in with
Emergency
by the
medicine
ambulance.
is not just trauma.
It's not just trauma.
What else could it be?
There's
People
there's
that just
heart
need to
attacks.
be seen now. Yeah.
There's strokes. There's actually
Asthma.
I can think
there's
of
asthma,
I
there's-
can think of most of them, but for the listeners and things.
something that struck me maybe about a couple of years ago. I was in the emergency room and I was looking at the different beds and I saw a lot of elderly people on the beds, and I thought, so there's a special subspecialty of medicine that's geriatric medicine,
Old people medicine.
or geriatrics.
The old folk.
And so there's in emergency medicine, pediatric emergency medicine is a subspecialty, and one day
That must be crazy.
I was in university emergency room and I saw a lot of elderly patients, and I thought, wow, maybe should there be some, and I may be wrong again, this is just
I thought
young medical school and thought in a sense.
we here at the
Should we
BamCast
have-
never knock people for thoughts.
Should we have
Unless
should
it's
geriatric
Unless it's
emergency
stupid.
medicine, I think there's a better way to say that,
Should you have geriatric what?
emergency medicine be a subspecialty, just because I think there's a bit of a when you think about it, you break the patient population down from children, adults, and then elderly. You wonder if so children have special needs, elderly people. It's a lot harder working. At least for me personally, I find it harder
To work with them?
To work with elderly people.
Because they're set in their ways, or just to
No, just
get
because-
them to do their thing.
I would say
I apologize for the fan in the background, guys. We don't control it.
things are a little more difficult to do on the elderly. At least, again, like I said, I'm young in the
you.
program, but for
For
me, it's harder. If I have to put in an IV, with aging, the skin loses its collagen. The veins get more tortuous, so it's harder to put in an IV, at least for me, on the average elderly person than is on adults our age or a little older. And then sometimes you have dementia to deal with as well. And this is not everybody, but I certainly think it's for me, I find it personally challenging.
I can imagine trying to administer medical care to a person suffering and also a person with dementia, kind of not knowing what the hell's going on, trying to
And it may not even just
Lash.
be, it may not be dementia. I mean, it may just be in that situation, whatever's afflicting them, they're just confused. They're just a bit out of it, and that's understandable.
It's like a lifeguard saving a person who's flailing and trying to sink the lifeguard.
No, I wouldn't put it like that. I remember I had to go to the emergency room a couple of times.
Okay.
I remember once I went to the emergency room with dengue, and I was
went to the emergency
yeah.
room while you had dengue.
Yeah,
That's a
For
very
dengue.
that's a very painful thing, guys. I've had dengue. That shit hurts.
I had
It's no fun.
high fever.
Folks would die.
I was in pain, and I remember bits and pieces of it because I was just
Fever
all
dreams.
over.
Fever dreams.
And
Delirious.
I feel as though I was probably not the easiest patient to deal with. And
I don't think any doctor is an easy patient.
No,
aside
doctors make the
from
worst
that, I do
patients,
think
actually.
doctors make the worst patients. But aside from that, I just think
Chefs make the
I
worst
was
restaurant
not-
customers.
I just in
criticize
too
them.
much
Don't know
pain,
too much.
the fever, and miserable, and I just don't like to be sick in general. So I thought, I don't think I was a really good patient in general, and I personally struggle if I come across a patient like that. Like, it's very hard for me. I remember my first like full patient very early when I started clinicals. She had a stroke, and I was just struggling. Like, anytime I come across a patient who has trouble communicating, I really struggle. It's just so hard.
Is that because of how you communicate?
I guess I'm pretty verbose, and
Absolute verbose verbiage.
And
Veritable vicious war verbiage.
Ooh,
the thing about it is,
kill him.
you have in
name
your
is
mind the kind of doctor you want to be, and then I find myself in a situation where I can never live up to that. And
You have in
I've been-
mind the kind of doctor you want to be.
yeah.
Can you expound on that
Your
sentiment?
personality, what you're
So-
saying is you may not have the level of empathy needed to deal with those special need patients.
Oh my God, a doctor like Bob.
So
There are a lot. What's the name from Scrubs? Oh Jesus. Oh God, angry guy.
Cox.
Yeah, Dr. Cox.
Cox.
yeah,
Cox.
Why do I remember Cox?
Because he gay.
because he's a so.
Oh, this is so much better than sitting on the stool. The stool
So
is
the thing
so
about
hard.
the thing about
Why?
so I have to go back a bit and say
Hard stool.
I
Bono?
wanted to do medicine at the end of high school, and
Yeah, can you talk about that? Because
The 5 years,
you
like,
did
it-
your degree,
yeah,
your masters,
And then
this
medicine.
whole time with the underlying drive of to get into medicine.
yes, exactly.
Very few people in my life that I've met thus far know this is where I want to go from high school,
Fuck school.
especially with like the garbage of going through the school system. So
So I think a lot of people, especially in the Caribbean, they know they want to do medicine pretty early on in life, and they channel their wish to it. I literally until the sixth form, that medicine wasn't for me at all. I actually wanted to be a pilot, and I couldn't even deal with blood. And
and you're working in the ER?
so crazy story. I started watching.
That's a wicked 180.
I started watching ER. That old television show.
Said TV don't do nothing for the youths.
Yeah, all they say is it rots
So
your
people
brain.
people can never believe when I say this. They ask me because I'm looked on in med school as this older guy who's supposed to be more mature most times, and a student leader in the
This
program
older guy who's supposed to be more mature
Sometimes.
most times.
most times,
More right.
and
Not ever.
they ask me, you know,
I ain't no god. nigga.
why do you want to do medicine? What got you into it? And then they can't believe when I say, well, really, I was in high school. At the end of high school, I was watching ER, and I thought this looked pretty
Bro,
interesting.
That sounds crazy.
I see. That's how it started. I looked at it. It's like this looks interesting. I started
This
to
is
read
what
up
I
more.
wanna do.
I mean, to be fair, it was Emerald Lagasse that got me into like
Cooking.
cooking, really and truly. Watching his show, like seeing how he used food to just interact with people without having to actually do it. It was like, here's my food. This is a piece of me, but I don't have to really deal with you. Was it good?
Joe-
Yeah, cool.
Joe Rogan.
Well, yeah. see,
Why you think
bro,
I had the podcast to
Yeah.
start? The guy who got me
It's-
into
it's-
martial arts.
it's not that hard
and
to believe,
It's not hard to believe, but I personally kind of think it's cool when you fall in love with something based on someone else's passion. Because I think you can read a lot. You can read all the different things that people do, but it's nothing like seeing something and going, I like
But
that.
you know what's a
it's when you're
thought I had.
truly inspired to do it.
You know what's a thought I had the other day. Are any of our ideas really ours?
no,
Isn't everything that we think
There hasn't been an
just
original
something
thought
that we've
since
gotten
Adam.
from somewhere else that we have put our twist on, but it's not our original.
Quite
thought.
probably.
there hasn't
It's
been an
just
original
our
thought.
There's
since
always
Adam.
some influence from somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there hasn't been an original thought since Adam. The great art of the Renaissance, the Da Vinci's of the world, the Michelangelos of the world. That's a direct result of what you kids in America hate now, cultural appropriation, because cultures mix and blend, and you take inspiration from here and from there. Boom Jaw himself, the dog clearly loves not chill pop, but lo-fi hip hop.
Lo-fi.
The dog grew up in Jamaica, but the beats, the how the melodies put together, him appreciate it. So he takes some of the Jamaica, he takes some of the hip hop from wherever, mixes it, and you get these real sick beats. No idea has been original since Adam. If I don't necessarily believe in Adam, but you get what I mean. No idea has been original since a certain point, but it's the adding and the mixing and the blending of through the prism of the individuality that is the person that give you art. Yeah, no, I did have to do that a while ago. I need isn't here, so prism. But you know what I mean, right? Like
Easy me out.
through your brain. I wouldn't mind being Magic Carp. I get to be Gyarados. But anyway, we fully went on a tangent from Nikolai talking about his medicine.
Fine.
And you were
I
talking,
love the deeper philosophy behind it.
brother, tangential lane shall be fun then. We can talk about that shit. Something I really wanted to ask you. You clearly have a love for medicine. But when I was in university, I was the guy who I went to school to the class to know what I had to know, study, and I fucked off. I never invested in student culture. I never invested in academia. I never invested in student relations between lecturers and teachers. But you always have. So,
How long have you been in student council?
So we have a
long
medical
you been
students
government, bro?
association, and I spent 2 years there. So I just finished earlier this year, but I'm still doing some work with our school on some interesting projects that have been started and are coming around, and really it's a challenge. I'm enjoying it. It's a really challenge to balance school and do this at the same time. I don't know if we could talk about Tina, but
my sister?
I don't know how she does it.
Are you dissing her? Or are you talking about her in a flattering light?
No, like,
Since we can speak about
This is
her
something-
if you're flattering.
Yeah, we
I
can
was
speak
thinking-
about her all you want as long as you're talking about her in a flattering light. You're talking about my
She-
sister bad.
She is the blueprint for,
If
for
I could-
type A.
She,
If I could-
my mother is an amazing woman. I don't think there are many people like her walking around.
definitely
Athena
not.
Nope.
Is Athena is a more refined version of Minerva. Her ethic and ability to work even when you're tired and feel like garbage
Yeah.
amazes me.
If-
I'm sorry, yo. I live in a house with strong women. Like, god damn, y'all thought he's not going to do nothing.
So first of all,
But I love y'all same.
as you brought up,
Bless the
Minerva.
righteous.
those are some big boots for me to fill.
Minerva?
Yeah, can't even fill them.
Why are you
even
trying
if
to
I try.
fill them?
No,
Can't fill them boots,
I wouldn't
man.
even try.
Why are you trying to fill them?
But-
I stopped trying that from I was 17.
But it's amazing to have somebody like that to look up to.
A
As
mentor.
I start,
A mentor. It's
as I
amazing
start
to
this,
have one.
as I start this profession, it is amazing to just look at what she's accomplished, and just be like, wow, that's the gold standard right there. If I could do half of that, I've done my career proud.
Big facts.
Bruno.
Big facts.
Minerva's
Minerva
a
is an
freak of nature,
amazing
though.
person.
So she's
Like-
definitely had an impact on me as a young medical student moving through the system.
Imagine falling out of her and then being raised by her.
Falling out, you know, like it's an accident, you know? Like she walking.
I'm sorry. I had to let it go. Continue. I'm
Fuck
sorry.
her toe on him.
But Tina inspires me because if I could only take like 25% of that discipline, the discipline, and I apply that to my work, oh my word.
I think that's my 17-year-old sister, right? When I was still in
Freak of
university at the
nature.
time, she's the head girl of Immaculate. She has never gotten anything but one straight A profile
Killer.
in anything.
She went to pre-MIT.
She went to
Yeah.
pre-MIT to get into MIT, like in Barbados. Like she's a murderer, but it's not. Of course, she's gifted, right? Because that's just not something that happens.
Everybody, yeah.
But
Discipline.
sometimes, when I used to be in university, I'd be going to my bed, like walking past her room, and she's awake at like 3 in the morning, just grinding, doing work. Like, never let it be said. Intelligence, not natural. Her discipline to learn, and her, just asked her straight up, like, why you do this, dog? Like, you don't just like sleep? She goes, yeah, but I really like to learn. I go, but I always hated school. She goes, no, I don't like school either. I don't like the concept
Right.
of teaching. I don't like
But
teachers.
she
I don't
likes
like
it.
tests. I enjoy learning new
I get
things.
you on that one.
Learning is great.
If
though.
that don't explain
Natural learning is
myself,
amazing, though.
this dog, the podcast, everything you guys have been listening to, I love to learn. But I don't have the discipline to sit
At 3 o'clock in the morning
and grind out like math,
Yeah.
right? I enjoy learning about people, the science. The sciences once I don't have to do too much math,
Mhm.
and I especially have come to realize I enjoy learning about people.
You know, I used
Tina enjoy numbers.
to fuck with
Numbers is the
anthropology.
language of
hard,
the gods, as far as I am concerned. Math can literally explain everything. Numbers
Math is the
is the language
start
of the
of everything.
It's a language.
And I'm
of the
horrible
God.
at it, but it's
I'm
the
awful.
start
I'm
of everything.
absolutely awful. Yo, bam, 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 bam. Tangential lane.
Dog.
We're definitely still talking about Nikolai and his medical shit. Don't get me wrong, but we're gonna allow
Theoretical
tangents
math is
to shoot.
ridiculous. Man, them have imaginary numbers. How I must work out imaginary numbers?
I have no idea. I barely passed math.
Dog.
Barely passed math. True story. I was actually in class.
Let me hit the pan on these fools. Tangential lane. Alright.
Stop
I actually have a funny story for you. I was actually in a class last year, and my consultant asked me to work out a dose of a drug. And I had to take the calculator on my phone, and he looks at me and he's just like, "School children, what's that quiz? What's that thing? Challenge, school challenge,
quiz.
which is one of the amazing things about Jamaica, by the way. Coming from Trinidad, that's one of the things
You don't have that in Trinidad? I
we
figured
don't
was a
have
thing.
that. So we don't have that, and we don't have champs, and both of those things.
I know,
literally
like
amazing.
champs is a staple of the Jamaican
Yeah,
culture, but
champs.
I figured school challenge.
No, we don't have
quiz would be
school
a
challenge
kind
quiz.
of, you know, big up my children kind of vibe.
And he looks at me and he says, "The kids in school challenge quiz can work this out in
Don't do
5
that.
seconds." 5 seconds, and I look at him and I was like,
I'm
not
not one of
ashamed.
those kids.
I'm not ashamed. I'm in medical school. Where are they?
You never go on
Are
school
they in
challenge
medical
quiz.
school?
I ain't one of those kids, motherfucker.
Like, it was. Sometimes you just have to own it. Like,
It was humbling?
No,
Yeah, dog, I prefer,
it would have been humbling if I if I cared.
I prefer words.
No,
with
like,
numbers.
it'll probably stay with me for the rest of my life. But what are you gonna do?
What you were saying, Bob?
I said I prefer numbers, words over numbers any day, dog.
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Like even memory-wise, I can remember a sequence of words much better than I can remember a sequence of numbers. Even something like a phone number.
There's this thing we always talk about medical, and I'm probably gonna get bashed for this. We always say, "Oh, medical students are the cream of the crop, with the best and brightest mind." And I say that's bullshit.
No,
No, engineers. My brother's an aerospace engineer. I could not do
them man, they're crazy.
what he does. I can't.
That level of physics.
The math, the physics behind it, like
He's an aerospace
Even
engineer.
fuck that. Even the IT guys, man.
Yeah,
IT at a
Coding?
degree level has a ridiculous
Coding?
amount of math. Yeah.
Jesus, no.
Bruh. As far as a lot of Jamaican parents are concerned, there are 5 disciplines that each child can go into.
No, it's 3.
No, 5. Doctor, lawyer,
engineer.
engineer, policeman, disappointment. Those are the 5. You get me? But dude, there's so many things that people do that are fucking crazy.
I have
could
a
not
huge
imagine
problem.
the math involved to get something to fly through the sky
Right.
with people in it.
Exactly.
With people in
Planes
it.
are magic.
And land with people in it.
Planes are magic,
And
you
be
know.
cool.
They're
That's
heavy,
amazing.
heavier than air flight.
This is something I've always
It's crazy.
that's always been a pet peeve of mine in the Caribbean. I think it's really a neo-colonial attitude that we have, where the only
Ooh, yes,
professions,
talk to us about
where
it.
the only professions with anything are medicine, law, and engineering. You can't build a society on those 3 professions alone.
Yes, you can.
You can build a scientocracy, but none have ever existed. They've only existed in sci-fi. And sci-fi is
What them name?
fiction.
Italy had a technocracy for a little while,
I mean,
but Italy's issue is that
Italy
fucking hate
Didn't
everything.
Italy like fuck up the other? No, I'm thinking of Greece. Never mind.
Italy's issue is the migrants, and now the right wing sweeping the power all across Europe.
yeah, they have a populist government.
Yeah, so
which seems to be a bit of the trend these days.
All right, yeah, we're on tangential lane, and I decided very early that we definitely have to keep talking about that water thing for tangential lane. Remember, I said we were going to say
right.
it? So we're going to talk about water a bit, and then we're going to lead into, you want to talk about the Aquaman trailer, right? Now, how the fuck do I remember these things? You know what? It's because I care about this podcast, about what you guys hear, and you guys are entertained, and I love you. I love you guys. Anyway, water. You know when I realized as a young guy, a young man.
Your phone just fell.
Okay, that means to turn off live. You know when I realized as a young man why water terrifies me? It was a concept of potholes.
That you don't know how deep they are?
No. The garbage road between... Alright, Bob is my literal neighbor. If the road between our houses was Gucci, it's a 2-minute drive to Bob's house. However, to get here, you have to go off the hill or go up and around the hill. Why is because that little road is fucked. But that road has been fixed at least 3 times since I've lived here, and I've lived here since I was a young lad.
I feel like since forever.
Yeah, since 5, and I'm 25, so I have 2 decades here. But that road's been fixed about 3 times. Every time it's fixed, you get like a real bad shower.
And it just washes everything out.
And I see how it degrades, and I see... Dog, one time, like that storm did pass, I think it was Ivan, and I watched... not watched, but before the road was good, after we came back, there was like a whole anvil cut out of the land and moved over here. And it's water do that. And I remember thinking from a young age, dog, water do this? Water? I have a tattoo on my calf that represents the whole Bruce Lee philosophy of water. Dog, water in all forms terrifying. Rain, terrifying. Floods, terrifying. Mass movements, terrifying. Glaciers, flatten and
water
erase.
under pressure.
It cuts.
Yeah.
It destroys. Water is utterly terrifying. But God, am I happy for it? Because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for it. What do you want to say, Bobby B? Or are you chewing? Are you digesting the concept of water? Because water flows.
No.
Water
Don't
crashes.
tell about water.
Water
Right?
is water. If you pour water into a cup, it takes the form of the cup. If you pour water into a jug, it takes the form of the jug. Water can crash, it can flow, it can penetrate, it can cut.
Getting into some fluids.
Be like water, my friend. Adaptable.
Very zen.
Adaptable. You're gonna rant about water, go through, bro.
Dog. We live on a planet that has 70% water, right?
We ourselves are about that much too.
Right? That 70% water is mostly salt water. Can't drink. We have the technology to desalinate it, yet we have water shortages all over the world. Because the rich people buy water rights, drinking water rights, and then withhold access until there's a shortage, and then them get a lot of money from it.
Which I think should be a criminal action.
Yeah.
Not to cut you. Isn't that the premise of Quantum of Solace, James Bond?
I don't
Water?
know.
I feel as
I don't remember.
That was the one with the ice?
You fuck with movies heavy.
That was the one with the fucking solar satellite?
No,
With the big
No.
laser?
Is Die Another Day.
Yeah. No, that's the second one after. That's the second Daniel Craig one.
Quantum of Solace.
I
That's
think
the one
like
with Vesper Lind. Where he got
the
hit
one
in the
after
balls.
Vesper.
No.
Yeah, the one after, right?
No, he
So
got-
it's not as popular as Casino Royale or Skyfall. Yeah.
And the last one I watched
But I
was...
swear that's the premise of Quantum of Solace. But yeah,
Possibly,
no.
but water
it makes you
rights
think.
are a
It really
big
makes
thing.
you think.
Like
yeah,
people
water
think
rights,
oil
yeah.
is where it is, but no, it's water. Because even the big oil companies are phasing out oil use to and focusing on renewables. Because them say that's where them have to go. So, the water thing though, like it's in some places in America, in some states, it's illegal to collect rainwater.
In real life?
Really?
It is illegal to collect rainwater.
Illegal?
Illegal. Against the law to collect rainwater.
How is it against the law to collect rainwater?
I didn't read up on why them do it, but it is illegal to collect. In some you can do your Googles if you don't believe me, people out there. If you don't believe me, the goggles. The goggles. You doing it over there? No, you're just playing with the board.
I was wondering myself if he's gonna Google it one time. No, it's fine, it's fine.
I was just turning my phone on my mic and then I flipped it around, just looking at the camera. We'll get better at this, but you know, you guys can watch us learn about it.
My mouth full.
How is it illegal anywhere to
Who own land?
Hold on. But how do you own something that falls from the sky like
Who own land?
white people?
How? Who own land?
White people that came on the land and killed all the people and was like, yo, this
So who did own it before them?
the brown people.
Nobody owns land.
Nobody owns land.
Think about it.
He who
You come here, come see it.
Mikhail.
Who bought it first?
Mikhail.
What is the chain of ownership?
Mikhail. He who comes onto this land and tries to test this owner will be met with a rain of gunshot.
So
I
you-
own this.
So you can claim a piece of land and defend your claim.
I own it.
You can't own it.
Fuck off. I know what you mean.
And you know, in a governmental system, the government.
What is that?
Technically in Jamaica, you know.
Which amendment? Which? Is that
Technically-
second amendment?
Technically, at least.
Unless I can see, I'm not overtly
Brother.
cools on the Second Amendment, but I mean,
Alright, your second amendment, if you want to have a second amendment, the second amendment says you have a right to bear arms and the service of farming a militia. Them not farm the bomber clap militia.
none whatsoever. You just
So I
have to
don't-
defend your one territory.
Yeah. And that you
But
can.
it's interesting history.
That's stupid.
It's I was watching this YouTube. Yeah, you know, instead of studying, I was
We have
two places you lose all track of everything. YouTube, Wikipedia.
I thought you were going to say like
Bro.
porno or something.
No. I'm
Bro.
sure this is a PG-13.
They even talk. Man, which part of this is PG-13?
Podcast is
Oh, we do that now, girl.
PC. Trust me, but don't get me wrong.
No, what?
We are refining the content and how we speak about said things, just so it's more, you know,
Palatable.
to our listeners. But,
Come out of my brain, bro.
never. But we are the home of the anti-PC. We talk about any and everything here. If you don't like it, turn it off.
I understand the Wikipedia thing still.
Yeah,
Like
you,
I'm reading an
you can
article
just get
and
lost.
clicking on hyperlink.
You just get lost. 3 hours later, you're like, what?
Way down a rabbit hole reading about.
Can I tell
You
you,
know what gets
how
me?
many times?
You know what gets me though? Airplane crashes.
Airplane crashes?
Mass disasters like that.
Yeah.
Like I'll read about one somewhere, like I'll read a random fact on the internet, like how much how big this explosion was, and like there's this one in Canada in the early 1900s that wiped out like a whole bay and a whole town and shit because a munition ship caught on fire after it came into dock.
An airplane crash wiped out.
No, not an airplane crash, that was a ship. But I'm just saying, mass disasters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
Was that like
So I'll click-
Canada or something?
Yeah, it was
That-
Canada.
Yeah, I remember.
So I'll read about that. I go and I click on it, and then I'm like, oh, you have other related things. I start
Yeah.
clicking and going and going.
3 hours later, you're like, what?
Yeah, the airplane one. I remember when the guy,
And it always happens the night before the examination. The night before.
the Aero Wings, the guy who crashed the plane in Spain. The dog who crashed the plane in the mountainside on purpose.
Eurowings?
Euro Wings, I think. No, he literally crashed the plane
Yeah.
in Spain, in a mountainside on
really-
purpose. The guy who crashed it on purpose.
Yeah, he was.
To commit suicide
Crashed the plane
on the planes
on the planes
with a lion
My
had a
word.
mane.
where a lion had a mane while it rained. I'm not a rhymer though.
Psych.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, he crashed the plane.
Yeah, that was a sad situation.
So I was like, I went and I was reading about it on Wikipedia, and then I saw that there was a list of articles about plane crashes that were pilot suicide. I was like, what the fuck? So obviously, yeah,
Specific. Wow.
Whoa.
there's a record
There's a record of plane crashes.
that were pilot suicide.
Commercial plane crashes that were
Pilot suicide.
Suicide?
The pilot crashing the
Wow.
plane to kill himself and
I'm
killing
not
everybody.
even Jamaican anymore. I'm done.
No, well, I mean, that's an interesting topic. My dad is a former commercial airline pilot. And so I've always had the bug since I was a little
Talking
kid.
to Nikolai about this.
And yeah.
So both Nikolais that would know fuck with piloting.
Maybe it's something about the name.
Maybe.
Who knows? Jamaicans believe in spirits taking people. Don't they?
So all Nikolai's like planes.
Maybe. There's a Nikolai in my class, and it's the funniest thing because we have a thing. We see each other like, hi Nikolai, hi Nikolai. That's
I
our
do that
thing.
with every Michaela I know
yeah.
too. Yes.
That's a thing we've been doing since med school started. But so I'll ask him if he likes planes because let's see if it's freaky.
Yeah.
Like,
Ask him. I bet you.
but
yeah.
no, I often find myself on those same pages, but I cut it off a week before I have to fly. Like I have a rule. Like it's interesting. It's really interesting because there's a similarity between flying as being a pilot, the concept of checklists and
Oh shit! I was reading about one the other day.
Mic check.
Them failed to do the checklist.
Mic check.
The whole concept of human error and using checklists, and there's this nice correlation between aviation and medicine. But
We're back.
So from time to time, I always end up on some of these things. But I have that rule, like when I'm flying, like a week before.
Let me not fuck with my mind.
It's like
and watch people crashing and dying.
Bruh,
it's like
Final Destination.
Oh no, dog, that shit's
No, like-
real, brother. It's like death
When
really
it's-
do come for niggas. Like,
Yeah. Death will run up on your doorstep.
the worst thing is to be an expert in something, because then you know all the ways it can go wrong.
Bruh.
And so, if you're a patient or if you're a passenger, two P's like it. But you can see things that the lay person won't. And so that's the last thing I want to be reminded of what I'm getting on a plane.
You know what Nikolai
Full of
hears.
patience.
You know what Nikolai hears when he's on the plane and they're like, "Yo, put on your seatbelts. We're getting ready. Landing time."
Tactical nuke incoming!
That's worried.
Terrified. Is that how you feel every time planes land?
So the thing about it is,
Planes
you have
are
a
the
good idea of
safest.
what's supposed to happen. So when you see something that's different, you're like, oh shit.
Planes are the safest mode of transportation
They-
based
but
on
they
the
are, they
amount of
really,
people
really are.
that use it. Yeah.
You don't think about that when you're there in it. Though.
Oh, no.
Like,
No, because you're in the sky.
But
and
what I always think to myself is
you're
all
in
of
the
these
sky in the tube.
all of these major plane crashes is on some really weird fucking routes that I would never fly.
So the thing about plane
I would-
crashes,
Malaysia, the missing plane. I would never be flying
What happened to that? What happened to that? I never followed
the
that.
Netherlands to Malaysia. It's still missing. I don't know. The aliens took it.
so the one thing is,
Hold on.
How does a plane just go missing?
On Earth.
Jesus.
Bermuda Triangle.
The aliens. Jesus came riding a velociraptor.
I
and took
accept
it away.
all answers that were given to me a while ago. Jesus, the Bermuda Triangle, and aliens all seem plausible.
Bro, you have a bet. There's a conspiracy theory that they landed it in at a secret CIA air base in China, not CIA, one of them things, and they took off all of because there's a bunch of international experts on the plane in some field. I don't remember what it was, and they kidnapped them. That's a conspiracy theory that's out there.
Oh, that's my
They've never found any debris. They don't know anything about. That's the one that just went missing.
You know-
There's the other one that they shot down.
Oh, that's my
Oh no, they did find debris from the Malaysian Airlines one, but
I think
they haven't
found the
confirmed.
debris. I think they found debris and they confirmed that it was that.
They haven't
I feel as though they have enough,
Okay,
a
Google.
lot of evidence.
Yeah, do your Googles.
What happened to the Malaysian air flight?
This is not mine.
There
was two of them.
There is no.
One went shot in. Yeah, one went.
There's
one,
no succinct answer right now. If you want to find out, the article is MH370 cover.
MH370. Yeah.
What really happened to the Malaysia air flight? Do you Google kids? See them
I
not
don't
see them not
I
touch
feel as
it.
though that's like just a complex
I think
geopolitics.
bro. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I don't buy into a lot of conspiracy theories, and I haven't seen a conspiracy theory about this, but my brain created this one. 2 Malaysian airline planes went down in quick succession.
Was it two really? I thought it was just
There's the one that was shot down in Ukraine, and then the
Right.
one that went missing, and this all happened within a few months of each other, and then the whole
Was the
airline
second
went
one
bankrupt.
Ukrainian?
No,
Sorry, not
The
Ukrainian.
two
Malaysian?
flights that went
both of them
missing.
were Malaysia
The
Airlines.
2 flights that went missing. Were
One
from
was
the same
shot
place?
Been
down.
a
One
while.
was shot down
One
in
was shot
Ukraine,
down
and one
went
missing.
missing. And
Both
they're
of them
from
were
the same place?
Malaysia Airlines, same airline.
Okay. I'm listening. I'm walking around the room. but
No,
listening.
I don't know what could
Google
have
that.
caused it, but the 2 of them went missing within a short space of time, and then the company went bankrupt. I don't know what the fuck. And then Malaysia has a shit ton of things happening in them government with money going missing and what them call it? Does that Malaysia? No, I'm thinking. Yeah, Malaysia. Yeah, where them former president is on trial for embezzlement and them thing there. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if there's any correlation.
What's you guys' take on conspiracy theories in general?
I think
Are they no coincidences?
hold on. I think it's very silly to throw the baby out with the bathwater because yes, some conspiracy theories are absolutely ridiculous, but you believe that 2 planes flew into the towers on 9/11, right?
And then caused a demolition.
No. We're not going there because then that's where you spider out. But you believe 2 planes flew into a building. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking about
Yeah, I believe it.
all right. The fact that happened means people conspired to do that. Some conspiracy theories, ridiculous. Some hold a lot of fucking merit. And I think it's silly to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Because you should never believe everything you're told. Question everything.
Agreed.
Not to the point where you're an annoying dickhead, but don't just take everything man said for salt. No, Bob's gonna tell you about, the Bobby way of life.
2 things more about this. In Jamaica, the Rastaman them said long time. And enough thing Rastaman tell we how I saw the system going, I saw the thing said. And enough people said, no man, fuck your chat, you just being a Rastaman about it. It turned out to be true. I don't have specifics right now, but just ask any Rastaman in Jamaica, I swear them can tell you. And the other thing is, in plain Assassin's Creed, the creed of the assassins is nothing is true, everything is permitted.
Nothing is true.
Everything is permitted. And I believe in that a
Nothing
lot.
is true.
Everything is permitted.
Meaning
Permitted.
all knowledge is
Meaning-
permitted to be known.
No, nothing that you see happening is happening naturally. Everything is orchestrated by these big controlling powers.
I didn't watch the movie.
So that's why the assassins.
Everything has a causative agent.
That's why the assassins, they don't go around killing innocent people or anything like that. They do it through, they kill important political figures who are the ones doing the fuckery. Right, so there's somebody doing something. I believe in coincidences just because
I believe in the occasional
universe.
coincidence.
Yeah, no, but something usually in a something. As we Jamaicans would say, something in a something. It not really just goes so as you see it face value. But I believe in coincidences. This universe is too boundless and endless, and there are too many possibilities for things not to be coincidences. But I also believe that this may be a simulation.
What was that flex about when he said boundlessness and the endlessness of the universe?
No, I mean my default setting is I don't believe in coincidences. But then he made a really good point. The size of the universe.
Okay.
And I've never thought about it from that perspective.
Yeah, it's too big.
Did you watch the show Cosmos? The new one, not the one with Neil deGrasse
Tyson deGrasse.
Neil
Neil
deGrasse
deGrasse
Tyson.
Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
NDT,
yes.
yeah. There's a episode on it.
Feel free.
I downloaded the whole series,
You
but
really
I
need to
I've
watch
yet
it.
to
It's-
Need to
find
watch it.
time
It's
to watch
amazing.
it.
So I mean,
To be
visually,
fair, the dog is a medical guy.
it's
that
visually
does
amazing.
consume one's life.
Yeah. It's
But-
What's that
what,
saying?
12
If
episodes.
something's important, you make time for it.
Yeah.
So I guess
yeah.
I should make time for
It's
it.
12 episodes. There's
Yeah,
an
it's just
hour
12,
episode.
yeah.
You can't find 12
You don't have to
hours.
binge. No.
you
Don't
don't have to
binge.
binge.
Don't binge.
Yeah.
Just because binging, you'll lose things. Because that's the kind of show that you watch and you learn a lot and you feel really like, oh wow, and then you think, and the more you think is the more you have questions, and the more you have questions, at least for me, is the more I research and the more I go, wow, and then you learn.
You guys watched any of the original ones with Carl Sagan?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
I
When I was a
tried to
kid.
watch it recently, but because of the advances in technology now, like
When I was a kid,
because
I'd
so
watch
many
it
of the
with Hamlin
things have been like
updated.
like it's annoying to me because like I know
Pluto was a planet back then.
Yeah.
like, things are
When I was a
different,
kid, I'd watch it with Hamlin. So I mean, I grew up on it.
I was telling you about the specific episode about the boundlessness of the universe.
Most interesting thing.
Hamlin?
Hamlin?
No, the man
Have
that
you never
believe
come
in
to
an
this
alien, the
Hamlin,
ancient
Hamlin,
aliens.
Hamlin believes in
Ancient aliens.
I was talking to a friend about this on Saturday. Actually, he grew up in a very tight-knit, strict, religious-based house, and I got to describe my family, and I never realized how much I appreciate growing up in this house, because I myself am agnostic. I don't believe in any religion. None of you motherfuckers know the answer. But none of it necessarily, you know what I mean? Some of it could be right. Like, who the fuck knows? I don't know. You don't know. Anyone who says they know, they don't know. Yeah, for dead. And I'm not ready to do that right now. Know what I mean?
Agreed.
So, anything could be possible. I firmly believe just don't be a cunt. Be a good person. And shit will work out for you. That's my...
I kind of have the same thing. Like,
that's my 25-year-old functioning right now.
I can't believe the same thing. I'm personally not sure where I'm at. I'm a Catholic, but I'm not sure where I'm at right now. But I feel as though, if you're trying to live a good life, you live a good life, even if you don't necessarily believe, and it turns out there's a God. I feel as though you shouldn't be punished for maybe not believing. I feel like, if you live a good life, you
don't
should
be
be
a cunt.
judged on that.
Just don't be a cunt to people, right? My sister, very devoutly religious. She believes in her Jesus and she believes in her God. Minerva passively believes in Jesus and her God. Like, passively meaning the big days she'll go. Christmas, Easter, New Year's. She's there for the sermon and she always gives thanks. Shamar, adoptive older brother, plain old agnostic. If it's not numbers, it don't real. Hamlin believes that the missing link between monkeys and us were aliens. He believes in ancient alien theory. And you know what annoys me? Is I really want to just be like, the fucker I talk. Just because of how me and Pops are using me. I like being adversarial with him. It's how we jab each other. We encourage each other to grow. But dog, next year the family is taking a trip and we all have to get in shape to do this. To go to Machu Picchu. It's really hard to look at something like Machu Picchu or the pyramids and not necessarily go, yeah man, definitely this is what happened. But part of your mind goes, what the fuck happened here, dog? Like, how nobody know nothing?
My thing is, bro,
So
I feel like we don't give humans enough credit.
Coming here.
You feel like we don't give humans
enough credit? Like, the human body
Please
is...
hold that thought.
Yeah.
The human body is ridiculously, man. Like...
I believe... I
personally believe that...
Please. I believe, before you go on this statement, that whereas Hamlin believes in ancient aliens, I firmly fucking believe that we are a species with amnesia. I firmly believe that. Think about something that we know about, like burning of the Library of Alexandria. Acknowledge that them wipe out, But let's be fucking real, dog. We live in space. The moon's only here because part of Earth got slapped off. We're not, if you're not a creationist. Shit fall from the sky all the time. Dinosaurs died because of it. Something else died because of it. The Permian mass extinction is the most deadly mass extinction in life because of it. I feel like we're a species with amnesia, meaning we achieved unbelievable heights. But you get a big etch-a-sketch and then they start going again. As you were saying.
That's where I was going. I believe that we're self-limiting. Eventually, if we
no. I believe humans with natural amnesia erasures. You believe humans are self-limiting in that we get to a point that
is unsustainable.
Yeah, or our ability to create knife, bow and arrow, knife, gun, bomb.
Human nature. No, I mean, like I was having a conversation the other day about communism. I said why pure communism can never work. It's because of basic human nature. And
it's
basic
human nature.
Yeah, basic human nature is personal preservation. So, and in
is selfishness inherently wrong to an extent?
Selfishness is necessary for biological continuance.
Big facts.
Yeah. That's plain and simple. You have to make sure you can survive, and then you can take care of everything else.
Make sure you can survive, and you can pass on your genes. And then you protect said genes against everything else. Selfishness is not inherently wrong. Yeah. Selfishness excessively, where masturbate and take things because I want this all. That greed. Yeah, selfishness greed. Is not inherently wrong. Greed is.
Yeah. But so in the self-limiting, like I also believe, so within the self-limiting thing that I believe in, that we have gotten to points of in great advancements in history, and then somehow we lost it. And similar to the amnesia thing, but we lost it through conflict or a natural phenomenon. That's the other part I believe. Like, all right, so we know about the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs. Right. So big it created the fucking Gulf of Mexico. Right? We know about Krakatoa. Krakatoa happened in the late 1800s. It was
So
literally heard around the
So
world.
big it blew itself apart.
Yeah, a
I have no idea
volcano.
what that-
It's a
that last
volcano.
one is.
Okay,
Okay.
Krakatoa is an island. Well, was an island.
It's
It
now just a
had.
caldera.
All right. You know how you come up with scales for like volcanic eruption intensity or like hurricane intensity or tornado intensity? The scale was made because of Krakatoa, if we're going to be real honest. Krakatoa erupted so violently that the island it was on
Blew into
Krakatoa,
3 pieces.
blew into 3 pieces.
It's now 3 islands.
It was heard. It was so loud. It was so just
What happened? It was plugged.
nature.
It had a plug. It wasn't
Nature
an
don't
open
laugh,
thing. So
right? Nature does not laugh. People think we're all big and bad, but nature giggles at you. Krakatoa is a volcano.
Nature is humbling.
It's
water.
It's humbling and
Lava.
it's humbling and decimating. Is what it is. There a plug occurred in which lava sometimes. All right, you ever have indigestion, and you know you get kind of rough for a bit, and it goes away. Lava don't just go down. Lava cool. So a plug forms. Plug forms. Pressure builds up. When that thing went, the world heard
Felt
it. Heard it, not felt it. Yes, we did feel it, but you heard it. The earth sang for 20 hours from Krakatoa, where Krakatoa exploded. And there's a Krakatoa Junior now, like the chamber moved on
Yellowstone.
and one. If Yellowstone
in
ever blows, we're
America,
dead.
Yellowstone
If
National
Yellowstone
Park
ever blows, we're
actually
dead.
contains a super volcano. It sits in a huge caldera.
That's why you have geysers. That's why you have hot springs.
Full, isn't it?
If Yellowstone ever blows,
we're done.
Yellowstone's one of the great. There's things called the Great
And
Erasers.
I hate the movie reference again. 2012.
Oh no, we can go into movie references. Cause we can talk about the Aquaman thing, but Yellowstone is a list of things on Earth that we know of called the Great Erasers. The Great Erasers just, if all of life was a page written in a book, it rubbed all of it out. It's not tearing out the page, you know. The page staying because the Earth will survive, but it rubbing it out. Like if Yellowstone blow, we fucked. We super duper fucked.
So I believe that.
And that's when you want to know the Atlanteans, so we can go to Aquaman's place.
No, it's just like it just feels so insignificant.
What?
Nature.
You feel so insignificant, or
Nature, like humanity.
Nature feels insignificant?
versus nature versus.
oh, humanity is
space,
utterly.
time.
Alright, whenever you start watching Cosmos, because we won't spoil, right? But Cosmos happens on a calendar.
So I saw most of the first episode, and I saw the part where he does that cool, and he does that comeback. If the clock was 24 hours, and he does that extrapolated graph.
If the clock
Yeah.
was 24 hours, human
Less than a
existence since the beginning of our history, less than a minute. We ain't been here for long, dog. People always talk about we need to protect the planet. We need to stop using plastic to protect the planet. We need to stop littering to protect the planet. No, we need to do that to protect us. Because we're gonna be real. If humanity, if the world really and truly comes down to it, it going to shake us off like a bad case of fleas. It never not until the heathless of the universe. It not go nowhere. We go dead.
Yeah, I
though.
guess we I guess that's our narcissism, where we think of the entire concept of
The Earth
the
as
earth
us.
through us. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's why we think about it. We say Mother Earth because you need to be able to relate to the concept of this huge spaceship that we're technically on to your mother. If it's just to think about protect the Earth, people gonna say fuck off even harder than they already do. So when people say save the Earth, save
us.
Mother Earth,
Save humanity.
it really what them saying is, dog, this shit going to just go, I'm going to flop off. Because the Earth has been here, it will be here.
After we're gone.
Like,
Yeah.
you
True.
get me? People, the what's the word I'm looking for? The not selfishness, but the
Self-centeredness.
the self-centeredness and egotistical nature of humans will lead to believe that we are the world. But bads, we're one animal of couple billion. We just have thumbs and figured out how to do this. Not saying, against your creationism or whatever, but I am
Fully against creationism.
I am passively against creationism.
Actively against creationism.
I try to please all people as an
Creationism don't
empath.
make any fucking sense. Well, I explained it to a dog the other day. I was like, yo, here's my explanation of creationism. The only thing we knew as humans to be the ruler, to be the biggest thing, was us. Right? As thumbs, when we got to the top of society, the food chain, basically, and with tools and a bigger brain, we said, alright, cool. The only thing bigger than us must be a bigger us.
Therefore, we thought of God.
So therefore, we created God in our image. God didn't create us in His image. We created God in our image.
Big facts.
God is a fully human construct. God don't exist universally. God exists here on earth, in the human mind, in the human psyche.
I mean, that opens up a huge can of worms in the argument.
You want me?
How did
You want
we-
me help you? You want me help you? Can of worms? God is an ever decreasing pocket of human ignorance.
Of human?
Ignorance. Think about it. Back in the day, you couldn't explain why the sun rises and the sun set.
Mm-hmm.
So you
you
had
said
a
God
sun
did it.
god and you had a night god,
Mm-hmm.
and you figured out, oh, it orbits us. Therefore, this is what happens. Therefore,
no,
that
no.
pocket
You
shrunk.
can't say it orbits us. That's
No,
against the
fuck
teachings of the
flat
church.
earthers.
No. That's against the teachings of the church in the 1500s.
Oh, but we're
Remember-
not in the 1500s.
Remember, they excommunicated Copernicus after Copernicus said that the Earth orbits the sun.
But we're
the
not
sun
in the
orbits
1500s, Bob. We're in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you get me? So at one point in time, it was like, oh, the sun revolves around us
Mm-hmm.
because we're the center of the universe. Then it
Mhm.
became, no, the sun, we revolve around the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Then you figured out why night and day happened. So it moved from God's doing it to. So the concept of God is an ever shrinking pocket of scientific ignorance. Everything you can't explain.
Everything you blame on,
everything you can't
you
explain, you
give
attribute to God.
Yeah.
Everything you can't explain, you attribute to God.
And then when we learn
when
to
you can explain it,
it's
future
science.
generations go, oh no, it's science. They don't attribute it
What's
to
that
God.
line? God, let me see if I can get it right. Shouldn't have drank before this podcast.
Always, bro. I'm drinking during the podcast.
What is it?
Which movie? Let's see if I can help.
I don't think it's a movie. It's got to be some famous physicist or astronomist. Any advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
If you were to take a person from the 1700s, science and magic become indistinguishable. That's the quote. The quote is, if you were to take a person from an older time and bring them to now, science and magic become indistinguishable just because of the applications and capabilities of one another.
And
Because
the
think about it, dog,
limitations
back
of
in the day,
human
right?
mind.
Like, a man make a candle out of wax and light it, and that's why you have light at night. Now I flip a switch and my light turns on. Wizard! Magic! Wefu! Harry! Nani! You see me? Burn you. Okay, you're a witch. But no, it's science, motherfucker. So I think I like that definition for the concept of God. God is an ever decreasing pocket of scientific ignorance.
God is an extension of human ego. Nothing
I also madly agree with that.
That's
Yeah,
all.
we're going to talk about the Aquaman trailer and we're wrapping this up because we're an hour and 8 minutes in and we usually keep them an hour at a time. Bob, as a completely non-everything comic and movie and fun things that people enjoy themselves with, Bob's not about that. You going to watch Aquaman and I make you watch Aquaman? Because you're not going to watch it without me making you.
Whatever.
Alright, cool, there we go.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Nikolai, how do you feel about the trailer? I personally feel like they showed us too much,
Well,
but
then,
I'm
no
kind
more.
of happy they showed us
So
so
they showed
much
you the
'cause
whole
it looks
movie?
good. They showed you technically the whole movie, but I'll be remiss if I say I'm not gonna watch it. It looks good.
The last
I was a
time
bit surprised when I saw.
the last time I was excited about Aquaman was Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah,
That's what that's
think-
how I leave it.
but think of
That's the last
Flashpoint
time you
Paradox
excited
Aquaman
me.
as Jason Momoa. That'd be dope.
Is that the Aquaman we're getting? Or we're getting the bitch who
Some-
doo-doo-doo-doo-doo with the whales?
Some people are saying Aqua Bro.
We're getting Aqua, bro. I can go with Aqua, bro.
I can
Bro,
work with
Aqua
that.
bro.
I can go
work
with
with that.
Aqua, bro.
Bro.
Aqua, bro. Bro.
I was
I
surprised
can go
to
with
see
Aqua,
this 5-minute extended trailer.
Yeah, you didn't feel like it was too long?
A 5-minute trailer? That's fucking ridiculous.
I feel as though DC, like Justice League, just
I understand that they need to
disappointed.
cover their asses.
And so yeah, they just
They gotta cover their bases real
people are
hard.
complaining. Oh, it's not an original story. What is an original story these days? Let's be real about it.
Ain't
What
no
is
thought original since.
Renita Adams.
Fair enough.
The policeman.
Yeah.
Yes, cultural joke. Idiom.
The Trini got a little part of it. A little part of it.
The culture.
I knew who he is.
No, the thing is, Jamaican people have a saying when them say, I don't know you from Adams.
Okay.
But it's really, I don't know you from Adam.
Adam, meaning
Okay.
the original Adam.
Yes.
Okay. No,
But we say Adams.
Because
Because
Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta!
we say Honda Civics.
Why do we multiply things?
Because more the
It's just
merrier.
a thing. It's a thing you guys do.
Pepper swims.
Yo, Nicola, you going in to watch Aquaman?
Definitely.
I'm gonna watch Aquaman.
Definitely.
I think you guys should watch Aquaman. Have you watched Venom yet?
No.
Alright.
Venom is out?
It's out.
It
Right?
is out, and the critics panned it.
Of course.
Which is surprising because it's
However-
Tom Hardy.
However,
What the?
everyone
That's
I
a very
know,
weird story.
everyone I know, who I actually respect their opinion on movies, because I'm a movie guy. That's why we're gonna do a video with the Penny Section podcast. We're gonna talk movies. I believe in movies. However, I was kind of scared, but everyone who's watched it has gone, dog, it's sick, and I generally agree with those people.
I don't like the premise of the story.
Of which one? Venom?
Yeah.
What's the premise that you don't agree with?
I don't. The combating, the torture between Tom Hardy and Venom. I understand that's a central concept of Venom, that he's a
Mhm.
parasite. But just how it
From space.
how it's shown in the movie, it
Oh,
just
But we haven't watched the movie. We've
in
only
the
seen the
trailer. I should
trailers.
say. It's
So
just
the-
like Tom Hardy, him look
Coked
like him
out.
need for shit.
Him look coked out.
Like the whole movie, him just look like him really need to take a shit.
To be fair, the critics have panned the movie. The only part of the movie that they've universally praised was the
His acting.
the chemistry between Tom Hardy and the symbiote. That's the only part of the movie
Really?
they praised.
Him look like in the trailers, him
Still-
just look like him need to take a shit, dog.
I feel like we
Tom
could give
Hardy,
it,
as
give
far
it,
as
give
I'm
it a
concerned,
chance.
is one of
No,
the best
yeah.
actors of our generation.
Me too. Tom Hardy generally don't miss.
I'm gonna tell you something though. Tom Hardy don't really act, you know.
He just is Tom Hardy.
No, like when you think about it, he's Daniel Day-Lewis.
He doesn't personality act.
Okay, so
he
he's not-
character
no,
acts.
Daniel Day-Lewis is a
Maybe he's
method
not
actor,
yeah,
right?
he's not, maybe he's not
Wait,
a
no,
method actor.
I'm not saying he has to be a method, but I'm saying like a man like that who like when him acting and him winning an Academy Award for acting, you can say like, yo, that nigga was doing some shit. Like Tom Hardy was amazing in Dunkirk, and you only saw half his face, right?
But
Tom
that's
Hardy
the-
was amazing as Bane.
Yeah, and
You only saw half his face. Like
He was
you never
amazing in
see his
Inception.
face.
You see his face. He was amazing in the movie. I can't remember
So
the name.
his-
Where he played his own twin brother.
His it's just him. I don't know. It's just there's just a
he
presence
was
about
he
him,
was
yeah.
a
presence.
gravitas. A
Yeah, there's
gravitas.
just a presence.
a gravitas.
Yeah.
But he was amazing in Mad Max, and technically,
And you,
Mad,
and you
Mad
only
Max
saw half his
Fury-
face for part of the movie.
No, you saw his whole face, but technically all I did was grunt. Tom
Yeah.
Hardy. There's something about Tom Hardy when he comes on screen that we give him a reverence and we enjoy
It's cause
his
we
performance
know the work he put into all the fighting roles he's been in.
and the quality. Dude, Tom Hardy in Warrior, he
Yeah.
spoke, he acted, he was fucking murder.
Yeah.
Love you,
alright.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, no homo.
Mwah.
We.
Yeah, we're at a minute and 13.
You
You wanna
want
ta-
13.
And you want to tell the people your handles? If you want to follow us at the BamCast, follow us
Wait, I didn't get
Instagram.
to finish what I was saying, my youth.
Which, okay, cool, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
About self-limiting people.
Oh, I thought you finished that. You had
No.
more to put on?
Yes, I was saying
I'm
that.
sorry.
I was going to tell you about the Mycenaeans.
The what?
Mycenaean.
We had a whole episode on this.
The Mycenaeans.
We
in,
had a whole episode on this.
Yeah, no, but I'm
Don't
telling
cover
him.
it here.
I'm telling him.
We'll tell him after we turn off the podcast. The rest
But
of y'all that want to hear it, go
the
listen.
new people can get a little touch too. What I'm saying is that we've had
Fine.
advanced civilization. They had 2 storehouses and indoor plumbing before a lot of the people around them. There's a theory that they were wiped out by a big tsunami. So I'm saying is that the self-limiting is that we do things like, no, we're destroying the environment that will eventually get us off the planet. Back then, who says we didn't do things that fucked around, or the planet itself, things just happened to us that got rid of us, and that knowledge was lost with those people. But there are some other people somewhere else on the planet who survived, and them start over from fresh. There's something called the Antikythera mechanism. We spoke about it as well. That is like it is like an astronomical clock that was made in the AD, not AD, BC, BCE. No, like it's
Before current
we
era.
have been so much greater than we are, and we just keep starting over. It's a cyclical existence humanity has, and I don't even know if it's just humanity. I feel like it's just life in and of itself. Like, who says there really weren't reptilians? Dinosaurs were reptilians who ruled the planet. Who says advanced ones didn't
He's
exist?
losing me at the reptilians.
No, that's just obviously that's a far out one. But I'm just saying, other life forms could have existed on this planet before us and left no records. We're just the current form of life.
The
that exists
Forerunners.
here. Yeah, the Forerunners. The that's from Halo. Yeah,
The Forerunners.
the Forerunners.
The ones who spawned humanity. Because
the
humanity was
Therns.
humanity
in,
was supposed to take up the mantle of
Barsoom.
responsibility to curate life, but failed. And because he failed, a war occurred between the Forerunners and the humans.
and the humans ran
And
them
the
out.
humans ran them out, but not before being genetically reset to primitive man
Mhm.
and having to rediscover space exploration.
Mhm.
You look mad interested in this.
And
We're
that's
not
the
talking
Halo
about this.
stories,
Yo,
yeah.
we're wrapping this up, yo. follow the
Just
page.
reminds me of like,
Follow the pages at the BamCast on Twitter, on Instagram. Follow Bob Dammit
Bob, damn it.
_ Dammit everywhere. Nico, do you want the people to find you, or do you just want to save the people quietly? You want to be the Dark Knight?
yeah, I'll just
I'm the Knight.
I mean, I just want to say thanks for inviting me to the podcast. It's my first time.
Always welcome, brother.
I enjoyed it.
Whenever you come back
I
to the
love
price,
the
man.
range of discussion. Yeah, I'll do this another time for sure. And
Anytime you're
this
coming
guy,
back to go
this guy
press
right
point.
here, my cousin, gifted guy.
Thank you. I don't believe him, but we tried.
Sweet,
I mean-
sweet you up. You want something?
I've been
You already
I've
went
been
to
here
press
since I've been here since what 2009, and yeah, coming here is always great. You know, once a month I come here, and you know, there's a method to this. I come here
man.
Friday, there's jerk. There's an amazing view, and then you know we always have these discussions, and
I know
It
we
just-
record them for the people.
For the people, and now the people can see
Yeah.
us. Everybody, tell the people goodbye. Bye,
Bye.
people.
Pleasure.
Word to your mothers.
Trust me, Nicola will be a recording guy. You'll hear him at least once a month. Shout out,
Whenever I
listen
come
to
for
all
the
the
first
episodes. Please leave us a like. The app on
Share us.
app on
please.
SoundCloud. If you're
Share
listening
us to
from the
your
SoundCloud app,
friends.
you can now leave comments. Google Podcast, just Google Podcast is the name of the thing to download. You can play all our podcasts from there.
Podcast Addicts as well is a good app.
It's a good app.
You can
but
get us there.
if you have an iPhone, Apple Podcast, the BamCast, all the links and stuff will be left in the bio. Please share, like. We're Jamaica's #1 podcast already, but we're breaking free from terrestrial radio. Podcast, we love you.
Terrestrial.
Goodbye.